Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a book haul for you. Here's Kazi. He just had a bath. He's so nice and clean. I have a book haul for you today. I haven't done a book haul since the end of January, I think. I actually don't remember. I know I hauled all of the books I bought in January. I really kind of went bonkers in January buying books, and I have slowed down a ton. So this is my first haul since then. So I have... Hey, get your face away! You can't chew those. I have all of them right down here, and Kazi is very interested in them, of course. So... focus on my face. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna get started with some that I bought earliest, and I have read all of these books. Some of these books are books that I have read, but I loved that, like, I either read an ebook or an audiobook, and I loved them so much that I had to have a physical copy, and that would be this right here, which is part of my Kennedy Ryan collection. She is honestly my favorite, my all-time favorite contemporary author. I have just completely fallen in love with her books, and I would say she is probably my favorite author. I would say she's probably my, I don't know. Her and Sarah McLean are my favorite authors, okay? I can't choose. So let's talk about what I bought. So I have read this series. This is her Soul series. Has all 3 books. This is the last one, Refrain. This is the second one, which I think is Down to My Soul. And this is the first one, which I think is the prettiest, and it's called My Soul to Keep. I've talked about these books a lot. I love them dearly. They are between 4, 4.5, and 5-star reads. I gave the last one 5 stars. It was beautiful. It's a contemporary romance about a piano prodigy and as the hero, and our heroine is a singer, wants to be a dancer, and an actor too, and it's their love story, and it's beautiful and amazing, and I love it so much, and I think the covers are just gorgeous. So that is one of them. And then, of course, in my last haul, I had hauled the big bind-up of the Grip trilogy, but I needed to have individual copies so I could have the covers for each one. So I got Flow, which is beautiful. All of these books are 5 stars. This is my all-time favorite series. This is my all-time favorite, still is my all-time favorite book ever, period, the end. I don't think anything will ever beat Still for me. I love it so much. So Flow is the first one. It's a novella. It's very short, but you do need to read this before you carry on into Grip, which is the second book, which is beautiful. I love it so much. I just love the picture of them on the cover. Ah, I'll never get over these books, you guys. And then Still is the last one. These are beautiful contemporary romances between a black man and a white woman. He is a rapper, a musician, and she is his business manager, and she's actually the sister of Ryson, who is the hero in the Soul series. So I'm using a different camera setup, and it's having a hard time focusing on my face, but... So these 3 are books that I bought because I read them and I loved them. They were 5-star. 2 of them were 5-star reads. The other one I bought thinking it was going to be a 5-star, and it ended up being a 3-star. But I still love the first 3/4 of that. So the first one is Birthday Girl. I finally bought myself a paperback copy. I was kind of hoping for a recover because I don't love this cover at all. I know it's like the OG cover, but like, I just don't think it's very pretty. But I love this book so dearly. This is another one of my all-time favorite reads of the year. 5 stars. Loved it so much. So I had to get one. This one is actually not an indie published book. It's traditionally published, but I read an arc of this book and I adored it so much. It's another one of my favorite contemporary romances that I will continue to recommend. It's a beautiful child friends to lovers found family romance, and it is Love at First by Kate Claiborne. I loved this book so dearly. I had to have my own copy of it, and it's got the hearts on it are like raised. It's very cute. The lettering is raised. Oh, I just loved it so much. I needed my own copy. And the third book is an indie romance. This is one of my more recent reads that I just put in my vlog, where I go into detail about what made me fall a little bit out of love with this book. It's still a good book, but the ending was very disappointing for me, and that is His Muse by Twyla Turner. And I really like this cover. You can see her profile right here. She is an older woman, he's a younger man. She's a black woman who moves to France to start her life over after her husband cheated on her. And the artist, Etienne, is 29, she's 44. and she becomes his muse, and it is a beautiful love story. But the ending didn't deliver for me. There is an HEA, just in case you were wondering, if you still wanted to pick it up. I still think I feel like if I prepared you for the ending in my blog, I would still pick it up because their love story was so good. Like, it was so good. And this book was actually sent to me by Charles at Books on Stereo. This was a gift he sent to me. I was going to be on I think I still am, on a live show about audiobooks, and this was on my wish list, and he sent it to me, so I'm very excited to read it. I believe that he's having this author on to do an interview soon, so I'm excited to read this. I've heard great things about this. Okay, and the last one of this stack, I have a few more stacks to go through, is actually a graphic novel, and I typically don't ever read graphic novels. It's just not something that I enjoy reading, but I'm really interested in the art. And I saw this graphic novel on Olivia Reads a Latte vlog, and she was showing like the art, and I fell in love with the art style, and I just needed to have it just for the art. And I am trying to find one of the pages to show you what I'm talking about, because it's just such, I don't know, there's like animals in here. I don't really know what this comic or graphic novel is about. I'm very much not a graphic novel expert, but I just loved it so much. I felt like it's just so beautiful. And I mean, I'm a huge fan of Lore Olympus, and I have that hardcover that they are finally publishing pre-ordered. And part of the reason I love that is because of the art. So I'm really excited. Oh my goodness, do you see there's a unicorn right there? So it's just so cute and lovely, and I'm excited about this. This would be a quick one to read if you need to reach like a Goodreads goal or something. That would be a good one. Okay, now I've got some hardcovers here. Surprise, surprise! I don't get hardcovers very often, but these are some I'm very excited about. The first one is this big, gorgeous, honkin' YA Cassandra Clare. Cassandra Clare was my original OG way back like 2008, I think, is when I first read City of Bones, which was a long time ago, and I've just read her books every time she has a new one. I buy the hardcover, and then I buy the audiobooks because I'm extra like that, but I also think her audiobooks are really well done and the narrators are great, and I still, although my love for each book that she has released recently has kind of gone downhill a little bit, I still just, I don't know, I love her world, I love the characters, it's just so comforting to me. I've been a part of the Shadowhunter world for freaking ever, and I haven't read this yet, but I'm very excited to, and I think it's just so gorgeous. Like, I am obsessed with this cover. I think it is one of the most stunning covers I've ever seen. Can we all agree also that YA fantasy covers get beautiful covers, and I wish that that would translate into romance too. And then I also have, like, I still have a membership to Book of the Month, and I keep debating about canceling it. Like, I skipped a few months because none of the books that they offered were interesting to me. But then I saw this one come up, which again was a complete cover by... I am in love with the covers, and the colors, and like the font, and this is in like gold. It's so gorgeous. Sounds like, I think this is like a historical, it says it's set in 18th century London. It says, women across the city whisper of a mysterious figure named Nella who sells well-disguised poisons to use against the oppressive men in their lives. I think I remember that now. Like, if you want me to read this soon, let me know, because that sounds fantastic. So, very interested in that one. And then the other one I got was kind of an impulse buy, because I don't know that I'm ever going to read this. But it is We Could Be Heroes. I've never heard of this before. The author's name is Mike Chen. This is, I believe this is like a sci-fi. Yeah, this is a sci-fi, and I think it has something to do with superheroes. And if you didn't know, I'm a big superhero nerd. I love superheroes. I love superhero comics, so I'm interested in this one. But again, this is one that I'm like, I'll get to it someday. Or I'll unhaul it. I don't know. I'm a sucker for Book of the Month. I love the box thing. I just like them. I don't know. And then the last two hardcovers that I have are these two by B.B. Reed. This was part of the Mystic box, the dark romance box. This is Fear Me, and this is Fear You. I don't know too much about these. I haven't read these yet, but I felt like, I don't know, I wanted to give the Mystic Box subscription a try, and I just got a notice that that my next one is going to be coming soon-ish, or something, maybe in the next month. So yeah, I'm gonna see how I feel about that one. I think the next month is Tihan. I'm not sure how to say that. Once again. Anyway, I'm excited to read these because it came with some art that looked really great and intrigued me, but again, like, I honestly haul these books, and then most of the time I read on my Kindle or listen to audiobooks. But we keep buying them anyway. Okay, now we're on to the historical romances. So, I have a stack of used historical romances here that I have bought. I have greatly cut down on how many historical romances that I am buying, but when I see a cover from or a step back from the author that I have been collecting. Marcia Cannon is one that I have been collecting. She does historical romance, but she also does some fantasy elements, and she works sort of like fairy tale retellings into her books. I have yet to read one of hers. That is a goal of mine this year. So this one came up, and I think that this is... I'm not actually sure. It says it's The Pirate Wolf and the Black Swan. And here's the step back, which is great. So, this is interesting. I can't wait to read that one. Who knows when. And then I have also been working on collecting Lisa Kleypas stepbacks, and I have read this book, and I liked it a lot, and I needed it when I saw it came up with stepback, and that is Lady Sophia's Lover. Gorgeous stepback. I read this with the Historical Romance Readathon. This was the book they had that was in October. It was very fun. I liked it. And then my friend Elizabeth on Instagram, Elizabeth Plus Books, she was going to a bunch of used bookstores and she wanted to know what people were looking for, and I told her, I am looking for an original copy of The Duke and I that has the back cover step back because I don't have one. This doesn't have the raised lettering or anything, but it does have the beautiful step back, which I am just so happy that I have this finally. Like, I have physical copies of them. I don't have all of them with the step back because they are pretty hard to find, so I was super happy that she found this and got it for me. And then this one came in as an extra with a book that I had bought from Gigi at Gigi Reads Romance. She sent me this one as a bonus, I think because I bought it at Valentine's Day. This is Lady Rogue by Suzanne Enoch. And I think that this is actually one of Suzanne's Regency romance, and I've only ever read her Highlander romances, so I'm interested in this. I don't know honestly what it's about. It was published in '97, and I think on my TBR jars and my spinner wheels, one of my prompts is written before 2000, so this one would fit for sure. So if you have read this, let me know what you think of it and if I should prioritize it or not. So this was the one that I bought, where she sent me that other one as the extra. This one I bought purely for the step back. If you know me, you know I love a medieval step back. I freaking love it so much. I haven't even shown you the book, but the step back is so freaking gorgeous. It is The Protector by Madeline Hunter, and I don't know. The first line says, the first time he laid eyes on her, she had come to his rescue with a sword in her hand. So that sounds fantastic. Okay, and then these books are new releases of historical, well, not one of them isn't a new release. Two of them are. Okay, these three books are new releases for historical romances that I have already read. I read the arcs of these and I enjoyed them so much that I wanted to buy my own copy of them. So the first one is Waiting on a Scot Like You by Ava Leigh. I absolutely adored this one. This is a historical romance. We have a widowed heroine who is the older woman and a grumpy Scotsman who is her escort as they travel to a very fun destination that is all about physical delights, and it was very, very good. This is one of my favorite older woman, younger man romances ever. It's so good. So if you are like wanting that and you want a really good happily ever after, read this beauty. And another book that I bought that I read the e-arc of is A Rogue to Remember by Emily Sullivan. This is her debut book. This is also in the new mass market size, so it's like bigger, and it doesn't fit on my shelves the same, which I find irritating. But I think it will be fun to read because, like, it's not quite as stiff, so I'm excited about that. This is about childhood friends who then were separated and they have different classes. There's a different class trope there. She doesn't want to be married, and so she tries to enact this plot so she can be ruined, and then she travels to Italy to just live her life there. Her uncle is dying, and because these two grew up together, he was under the care of her uncle, I believe. Her uncle sends, I've forgotten his name, Alec, to go and get Lottie and bring her home, and it's kind of a little bit of an Italy road trip romance. It's very good. I really loved it. I gave it 5 stars. This is one of the most impressive historical romance debuts that I've read in a really long time, and it had I loved the setting in Italy, and I loved that there was so much longing and pining on the hero's behalf for the heroine. It was great. And the last book that I bought that I've already read that was an ARC is Scoundrel of My Heart by Lorraine Heath. I loved this book so freaking much. It was everything I wanted in a romance. It was fantastic. We have a heroine who has to marry a title to receive her inheritance, which means a lot to her personally. It's her grandmother's cottage. And we have the second son, who is the hero, who is trying to make a name for himself and earn a fortune on his own without having to marry for it. And he also feels a little bit slighted since he's the second son. They end up kind of working together. There's a little bit of mystery and a little bit of intrigue and a little bit of secrets kept from one another. And then they are separated because of a scandal that rocks the hero's world. So she ends up engaged to a duke, but she doesn't love him, and he comes back into the stage, and her true feelings show for him. He is a damaged hero in his return, and the way he loved her, it was so freaking good. I loved it so much. It was fantastic. That's one of my favorite historicals that I've read recently. I just adored it. Okay, and these two I bought to take part in Seasonally Booked Up Spring of Spies read-along, and these were the only two that I bought in physical copy. The others I have either the ebook or the audiobook, and I had to get this one because the cover is so stunning. It is Winds of the Storm by Beverly Jenkins. I cannot say enough good things about Beverly Jenkins covers. I think they are some of the most stunning things that I've ever seen in my life. The only thing I know about this is that it has a spy heroine, I believe. She's working undercover during the Civil War, so I'm very interested to read this one. And then this one I bought. This is His at Night by Sherry Thomas. I literally don't know anything about this. I have read Sherry Thomas before, and I really, really have enjoyed her books, so I'm excited to read this one with the book club. So, there we have all of the books that I have hauled over the last 2 months. I feel like that is not too bad at all. I have tried to this time I've really tried to only buy books that I've already read that I know that I love, which kind of does take a little bit of the fun away of buying that book that you think you're gonna love, but it also takes away that disappointment of you spent money on this book and you didn't like it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I want to finish out my collection of Kendi Ryan for sure. I have read almost all of her books at this point, but I don't own all of them, so I need to get Longshot and Hookshot for sure. So, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to like and subscribe. I will see you in my next one. Thank you, my friends.